Hey guys, Drupad here. So welcome back to another episode of Thoughts and Opinions. I hope you guys are doing well during this lockdown, and I'm pretty sure we'll all get through this safe and sound. And today's topic is quite interesting as it is considered a taboo, or it is not mostly spoken about in all of the countries very freely. I might get some hate or some bad reviews after this, but I'm speaking my mind because it has to be spoken, and people have to be educated about this, or there are a lot of misconceptions about this topic always going around, and it's high time that even I speak about this as well. I hope I can make some sense on this topic. So today's topic is quite interesting, as I'll be speaking about sex education, and this topic uh, was not prioritized in the Indian education system. So I hope as we progress further, as India's education system progresses further, we also, you know, uh, get to know a lot more about sex education, uh, and the misconceptions that are formed during sex also goes away, and sex is not considered a taboo to speak in public also goes away. So I hope I can make some sense, and anything at all, any comments or any feedback at all, please leave it down in the comments below. And pretty excited to speak about this, and here it goes. So I'd like to start off with consent, which is the most basic thing while involving in a sexual activity. The consent should be both from a boy or a girl, and or it can be a boy or a girl or a girl. Uh, so consent should be given from both the sides. Just because somebody is drunk or high due to some reasons, doesn't mean a boy or a girl, or a boy or a boy, or a girl doesn't take advantage of that situation and tend to indulge in a sexual activity where somebody has not consented upon. So consent is the most basic thing in a sexual activity, and both of you should, when both of you agree to it, then both of you enjoy the sex. But if one person doesn't agree, then it tends to end up in a bad way. I mean, you can get into a lot of fight, or you can get into a lot of trouble because of this. So consent is the most important thing in a sexual relationship, or while involving in a sexual activity. The second thing I'd like to say is sexual activity doesn't always involve a boy and a girl. Sexual activity can also mean a boy or a boy, or a girl, because everybody is entitled to their own sexual partners, or how their behavior is, or what they tend to do with their body is their own choice. So sexual activity always does not mean a boy and a girl. The next thing that I'd also like to say is don't encourage somebody, be it a boy, be it a girl, just because somebody says let's have sex without a condom. Don't ever encourage it, because you can easily contract an STI, which is a sexually transmitted infection, or an STD, which is a sexually transmitted disease, which can be quite harmful for both of you. So don't encourage somebody to say that let's have sex without a condom. Even if somebody insists on saying let's not use a condom, don't encourage them at all, and don't give them an option of having sexual intercourse without a condom. The next thing I like also like to point out is uh, when a girl is on her periods, or yeah, when a girl is on her periods, uh, and a boy tries to have um, sex with a girl during her menstrual cycle or a menstrual phase, uh, the chances of impregnating her is higher, because the sperm can live in the female's body for up to 5 days, and having sex uh, without a condom is a no-no, is always a big no-no, and especially during her menstrual cycle is always a big no-no, because you don't know when the ovaries might release the egg, and once the sperm is inside the body, it can last up to 5 days. So there's always that misconception that when a girl is on her period, you can have sex without a condom, because her egg is already might be coming out. So please don't indulge in sexual activity without a condom, even during uh, even during a girl's menstrual phase. The next thing I'd also like to say is, even if a girl is on her birth control pills, it's always better to use a condom. So it's like a two-factor authentication, just like in your smartphones. It's a two-factor authentication, even in the sexual activity, that even if a girl is on her birth control pill, it is always better to use a condom, uh, to be on the safer side, because you don't contract an STD or an STI, and she's also safe and you're also safe, if you're not too interested to impregnate the girl. The next thing I'd like to say is, just because somebody claims to be a virgin doesn't mean that they don't have an STI, which is a sexually transmitted infection. They could have contracted STI due to oral sex, and it's always safe to get tested for an STI or an STD, so that both of you are safe and sound. And even if you contract an STD or STI, it can be easily treated, and doesn't mean that somebody with an STI or STD does not need to have sex in the future. It's just that you will be more careful the next time. So when you're going to the next step in your relationship, be it anybody, it's always better to get tested for an STD or an STI, so that both of you are always involved in safe sex. And if you're regularly involved with multiple partners, or you have sex multiple times, even with your regular partner, it's always better to get tested. The next thing that I'd also like to say is, always speak during sexual activity. It's always better to speak out. It's not just you stay mum and you have sex. Both if you are interacting while having sex, it's always better, because what position or how comfortable the other person is while having sex. So always try interacting. The more the interaction, the sex gets better. The next thing I'd also like to point out is that nobody is perfect at sex. Everybody learns. Somebody might be a pro, or somebody might be a noob. So interaction always helps during sex, because everybody is not comfortable in the position, or everybody is not comfortable with oral or anal sex as such. So interaction is the key point in sex. The other thing that I'd also like to point out is sexual activity doesn't occur for 40 40-50 minutes or 1 hour as such, which is always the scene in in a porn site, that they tend to show it that sex occurs for 30, 40, 45 minutes. That's highly illogical, because sex can happen for an average of 4 to 5 minutes, or 3 to 4 minutes, and the rest is always foreplay. So foreplay is always the most important thing, because a boy tends to ejaculate faster than a girl, or a boy tends to reach his pleasure really soon than a girl. So foreplay tends to pleasure both a boy and girl, or a boy and boy, or a girl and girl. So it's always better that you indulge in foreplay before having sexual intercourse, because both of you are pleased at the same time, and not just the boy who gets the complete pleasure of the sex. So foreplay is always good with interaction. So the next thing I'd like to say is, especially for boys, is because of the huge pressures, because of the porn websites, people over there have bigger penises, and a lot of boys tend to lose their self-confidence and their trust because of the unusual penis sizes in the porn industry. It always matters on how you use your penis. So don't be saddened by the fact that they have unusual penis sizes. It is how you use it, even for the ladies. I'd like to say that don't go based on somebody else's size. It might be your choice, and it's left up to you, but don't judge somebody because of their size. They lose a lot of self-confidence and trust in the future, and it puts them down a lot. So don't be saddened by it. So it's basically on how you use it, and how you make use of it, and involve in a lot of foreplay, is what I'd like to say. And I hope I have covered some of the points that I had to cover in this part, or the sex education part. This is just a part 1 of my sex education. There will be part 2 as well, where I'll be covering a lot more, and I hope I've made some sense. And I know I might get a bad reputation or a bad review after this, but I don't care, since it's my opinion and my thoughts. I hope I could clear some of the misconceptions that were there on sex education, and I hope it can help some people. So this is my episode on sex education part 1, and hope to do more. Hope everybody is doing well. Anything at all, leave it in the comments down below. Thank you. Bye bye.